What's going on? Ah! What's going on, guys? It's your boy. Today I have with me my buddy again. Loco, tell him what's up.
What's good, y'all? It's Loco. I'm back with my boy Catch Dog. It has been forever, but
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
Be here. I'm honored to be here on his return, his first upload in forever.
Yeah, sorry about the long wait, guys. It won't happen again. We're back into the content grind and look forward to some videos in the future. So let's get straight into the topic. We're doing Kakashi versus the Akatsuki, and you might be wondering, why are you doing this video again? You've done this video so many times. Do a video that's not the Akatsuki. It's fun to talk about, alright? They're my favorite characters, and I have been absolutely dying to do a Kakashi video for ages, so let's just get right into it. The way this video is going to work is that we're going to start with part 1, Kakashi, and we're just going to start off with like the weakest members of the Akatsuki, and whenever Kakashi gets like an L, we're just going to upscale him, if that makes sense. So let's talk about part 1, Kakashi, and finally, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Hidan gets a W for once. We finally got one.
Hidan unironically stomps.
Yeah.
Me and Catch Dog were talking about this a little bit beforehand. He mentioned to me that it's very likely that Asuma and like Kakashi are like around the same level. They're both like high tier Jonin. Like regardless of who you think would win in a fight, like they are like on par with each other. Like all of the Konoha Jonin should be within the same like tier of power at this point, and we know that Asuma kind of got killed by Hidan.
Yeah, man.
So,
and this is a stronger Asuma as well. This is a stronger Asuma who's just getting not bodied, I'd say, but Hidan definitively won that fight.
Yeah, he had like some other Jonin there to help him out. I might be remembering that wrong, but like I don't know, man. Asuma had backup and he wasn't able to take down Hidan, so maybe Hidan catches a W for the first time in his life. Hidan catches a W.
You'll have to say it. You'll have to see it. We made Hidan relevant. We finally did it. And that's just like, we always joke about Hidan, like me and Thunder God and like me and Loco. Like, it's hard to make Hidan relevant. Now, the reason I'm really harped up on like Kakashi actually losing is for one, Kakashi at the start of the whole series, he is very, very, very depressed and is not trying. It's heavily implied throughout like the data books and the filler that he actually has gotten weaker since all of his friends and family have died, and he's been on like these horrendously bad missions that don't demonstrate his skill. To be totally honest, like I think Anbu Kakashi has like a better chance of killing Hidan because he's more bloodlusted. He's more. There's a really good chance that he'd go straight for the Raikiri KO because I don't know, man. Like Anbu Kakashi's kind of a savage, and part 1 Kakashi is kind of a sweetheart. He goes really easy on Zabuza, even though Zabuza and Haku are trying to kill his students.
Maybe Hidan is actually that guy for once in a while. Maybe he just pulls up on Kakashi, takes a little bit of his blood somehow, and it's just kind of GG's from there. You know what I'm saying? Kakashi might get like stabbed through the heart just like Asuma. Yeah,
bad stamina. He doesn't have the killer intent. You know, Kakashi is actually not getting the W here. However, Kakashi most certainly gets the W in part 2, even at the start. So in part 2, Kakashi can use his Raikiri more, and he has the Mangekyo, and he is more prone to battle, I'd say. We even see this within his fight with Itachi. Like, you gotta think about this, like Itachi, like the guy who bodied him, Kakashi just went straight for the kill at Itachi and was like, stand back Naruto, like I'm gonna kill Itachi. Like, what was his plan? Like, he got bodied. So he clearly gets a heap stronger from part 1 to part 2. We even see this in like the data books, how like his stats go up. And yeah, Kakashi just straight up dominates Hidan in part 2, I'd say.
And that's all without even busting out MS, bro. He didn't use Kamui in his fight against Hidan in Kakuzu, right?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I could have used it, but I just didn't want to end up in the hospital, so.
Yeah. And he would absolutely just go for the kill, go for a decapitation. He has the speed to keep up with Hidan very easily. So yeah, let's just move on to the second weakest member of the Akatsuki, who is Kakazu. I mean, the strongest member, the second strongest.
Oh, bro, we know, like that, like you gotta put some respect on Lord Kakazu, Moneybag K. But yeah, so it's actually probably a pretty close fight between like Kakazu and early Shippuden Kakashi. once again, like I mentioned earlier, Kakashi wasn't like he wasn't willing to bust out the MS. So like I don't know, man. Like maybe he was holding back a little bit. Also, he was being hindered by Choji and Ino and like
Yeah.
his fodder care.
There is a lot to say on that fight. Now, for the longest time, like, honestly, like, I am sorry for the Kakazu hate. I do like Kakazu. I do actually think Moneybag K actually does get the W here for a few reasons. Yes, Kakashi was defending Ino and Choji, but you actually reread the fight in the manga, and those bits where Kakashi is just dominating Kakazu when they're, like, swapping hands and stuff, there's several reasons for that. Like, for one, Kakazu was distracted. Shikamaru was actually like carrying that team a little bit with like the shadow paralysis and whatnot. And also like we need to also take into account that it's going to be like a 5v1 because he has his water mask. So I would say like Kakazu using all of his abilities together, using the shearing migraine, using all those like crazy lightning style jutsu, Kakashi's probably going to catch a fat L here. Full power Kakazu. And maybe he could use like the Mangekyo, but Kakashi never fights that way. I know you guys like to bring up Kakashi using like Kamui as a win con. He uses it very defensively all the time. And even when Kakashi uses Kamui on the Geto Mazo, he doesn't even use it like very well. He doesn't even actually finish the job. So
once I feel like Kakashi might be able to take out a heart, but the main reason why they even took out more than one is because of Shikamaru's plan, right? Like Shikamaru took out one of the hearts when he tricked Hidan into like stabbing himself. So like I feel like Kakashi wasn't even able to take out a second mask, right? And the first one that he took out was like a sneak attack, right? And especially when Kakazu like fuses in his weird like, form,
it's a wrap.
Once the combo jutsus come out, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like the wind style and the fire style combine, it's over. That's all I gotta say.
So I know before we mentioned how we're gonna upscale Kakashi, but I would like to talk about Start of Shippuden versus Sasori. So this is interesting because again, I have memed on Sasori a lot. Kakashi here does not have the poison, and does he have the stamina to keep up with Sasori? Like, it gets very interesting here. What do you think about Sasori versus Kakashi?
Well, I would like to say that Kakashi is like more skilled than like the Sakura and Granny Chio tag team. Yeah. But they had a lot of advantages going for him, right? Like Granny Chio like knew like Sasori's MO, right? She knew how he worked, right? They also had an antidote to the poison. And of course, Granny Chio was like a skilled puppet master herself, right? So like they had it going against Sasori. They had a pretty good setup, and frankly, Kakashi has none of this, right?
Yeah.
Kamui would be a pretty good option, but seeing that Sasori can just freely switch hearts between his puppets, like unless Kakashi somehow like figures out that the heart is like the source of his power before using his Kamui, because Kakashi at the start of the series he gets really fatigued when he uses Kamui.
Yeah.
So like if he can't figure that out right away, which there's a good chance that he will, but at the same time it's a bit of a stretch that he'd be able to make it that far, because Sasori doesn't pull out his real form, like his final fucking form, until the Hiriko shell is destroyed and the third Kazekage, right? So like I don't know if Kakashi would be able to make it that far, especially if Sasori pulls out the fucking 1,000 puppet jutsu that are supposedly able to take down the country. I don't know if Kakashi's like that, you know?
I think you really need to look at what even a stronger version of Kakashi did. He used a few Raikyuris on Pain, he used a lightning clone and like a lightning dog jutsu, and he's like, I am out of chakra already. Like, I've used half my chakra with like those two jutsu. You need to really think about like what Sasori is going to be able to do to Kakashi and the pressure. Like, yes, Kakashi is very slippery, and we see that in his fight with Hidan and Kakazu and Itachi. Kakashi has the brain to figure out Sasori and all that. So a really good win con I can see for Kakashi is because he has the speed to keep up with Sasori, most definitely, is he figures out the core and uses a Raikiri to pierce the core. However, just with all of Sasori's like defensive and offensive puppets, I really don't think Kakashi at the start of Shippuden is pulling it off, especially without Antidote. No way. Absolutely no way.
Oh yeah, like the poison is a really really big deal. It's
Yeah.
a huge factor in this fight, and honestly, I just don't see Kakashi overcoming that. You know, it's like I just don't see how he'd be able to get past the poison, the third Raikage, not knowing anything about Sasori, unlike Granny Chio did. Like he doesn't even have the puppets that Granny Chio had to defeat the thousand puppet army. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, Kakashi just might be fucked here. You know, it just might be game over for my boy Kakashi.
Yeah. And let's also talk about this version of Kakashi versus Deidara, which is still not good.
Equally terrible. Equally
it's
terrible.
it's
Datara smacks the taste out of his mouth. I'm not even lying.
yeah.
Datara probably doesn't even have to resort to like fucking C4. He just uses C2, the dragon, and it's over for him because Sasuke was struggling with that C2 dragon, and I'm pretty sure this form of Sasuke would like fucking beat the shit out of Kakashi, at least in the early Shippuden. Kakashi is relative to Yamato, uh, at least at that early point in Shippuden, and Sasuke fucked up all of Team 7, that being early Shippuden Naruto, Sakura, Sai, and Yamato. So he should definitely scale above Kakashi. So like
That's what
Sasuke
I
had to go into his fucking Curse Mark 2 form, and he was still struggling really, really bad against David.
That's what I was about to ask you because I sort of use those arguments a lot in my videos. Like, what version of Sasuke is comparable to Kakashi in Shippuden? Like I feel like the narrative is that Sasuke is just so far beyond like let's say like Curse Mark 2 Sasuke, like the one fighting Itachi and shooting off fireballs and like the absolute Chad Sasuke. I feel like that version of Sasuke is just so much further above like even like Sharingan Kakashi, I feel. And you really need Kakashi to whip out the Mangekyo to stay relevant in the start of Shippuden.
Personally, I don't think Kakashi is at Sasuke's levels of power until like the Five Kage Summit, to where
Yeah.
he's like able to react to Susanoo arrows and kind of clash with Sasuke. But even at that point, that was a fatigued Sasuke. He was almost blind at that point. He fought all of the Five Kage. Like at that point, he barely survived Danzo's like little ceiling attack and all that shit. Like he was incredibly fatigued, and Kakashi was still like barely keeping up with him. He needed Naruto to come in and like seal the deal, you know. So I'd say around War Arc is when Kakashi is finally reaching Sasuke levels of power.
Yeah, for sure. And like maybe you could argue like, hey, like the C4 isn't going to work because he can see the bombs and stuff just like Sasuke did. And Kakashi obviously has the insane IQ to figure out data as bombs. Again, I just want to reiterate, like Kakashi's stamina is not Curse Mark 2 Sasuke level, and neither is Kakashi's Genjutsu. Like it's just not up there. Kakashi wouldn't scrape the win like Sasuke would. It would be a very hard fight. I do think there is a good chance that maybe Kakashi might be able to Kamui away the C3 Dragon's wing and then he falls down onto the bombs. But even then, like Data is so good at substituting out of his like traps. It's just going to be an absolute stomp for Data, unfortunately. We need to power up Kakashi at this point, I feel. Yeah, and for now, let's talk about Pain Arc Kakashi. Let's upscale Kakashi a bit. Let's give him his, let's give him his big Chad, like Mangekyo abilities. How do you think Kakashi does against our Kakazu, Deidara, and Sasori groups here? Because you've got to remember, like, let's just do it. Like this version of Kakashi does know everything about these characters. Like you'd imagine that he does know about Sasori. He's already technically been able to know what Deidara does because he's encountered him, and he's already sort of fought Kakazu. So how do you think Pain Arc would go?
So Pain Arc Kakashi, contrary to what people believe, he actually has a lot more stamina. He has a lot more going for him, right? Along with like extra experience with the Mangekyo, he's able to pull off more taxing abilities like Raikiri clones, a fucking lightning dog,
Yeah.
He shows off all of his abilities against Pain. He's pulling out all the stops here, right? I do think that this form of Kakashi could comfortably beat Kakuzu, right? They were already pretty like fucking relative around the time where they fought. Even though Kakashi was he had to kind of look out for Ino and Choji, and he like at this point, like already knowing what Kakuzu is capable of, I don't think that like all he really needs to do is take out a couple hearts, use the MS once, and then it's probably over from there.
And,
you know,
for sure. And you know, like I just want to mention, like Naruto killed Kakuzu, right? Pretty well, I'd feel. Like that's I feel like when I read that part of the fight, Naruto definitively won that fight. And then Kakashi goes to him, "Oh, like wow, like you've actually surpassed me, Naruto." And then when he's in the hospital, like Kakashi kind of goes like, maybe you have, I don't know. Like, so they're clearly still relative. You give this Kakashi more like Mangekyo prowess and intel on how Kakuzu works. I think this version of Kakashi, Pain Arc Kakashi, definitely wins more times than he loses. However, I don't want to discredit Kakuzu. Like, Kakuzu is definitely a massive threat to this version of Kakashi, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I do believe that Kakashi would win, like we said, but it'd still be like mid to high div, just considering their fight from like the previous part.
However, funny enough, I actually still don't think he beats Sasori. Like, funny enough, I do think that this version of Kakashi is just going to get overwhelmed by the puppets. He's going to get overwhelmed by the third Kazekage, and I just feel like it's going to be a situation where he doesn't have the antidote. You got to remember, one stray hit from Sasori will kill Kakashi. Like, one out of all those puppets, out of the third Kazekage, out of Sasori himself. Like, you've got to remember, like, the Sasori fight was hard carried by Chiyo and her 100 puppets. If Chiyo didn't have those 100 puppets, they would have been absolutely obliterated. So, even then, I still feel like we need another stronger version of Kakashi to fight Sasori, funny enough.
So I do believe that like Sasori should be stronger than Kakuzu, right? Contrary to what a lot of people think, based off just like scaling and statements. Yeah, they should be like at least relative. I do think that Sasori is a pretty bad match for someone like Kakashi. So I do think that Kakashi could take it, but it would definitely be extreme diff for him.
Yeah.
I am leaning a little bit towards Sasori now that I think about it, but it really is a coin toss. They're going to be pulling out all the stops, and I do think that the reason that like Sasori died in the first place is that he was a little bit suicidal.
Yeah.
So I think that he just did kind of like want him, like he just wanted to off himself.
Yeah, he was listening to too much Green Day.
Yeah, like he just kind of just let himself lose, you know. So I think he wouldn't like let that shit happen with Kakashi, you know. That's not happening, right? He's not gonna let his guard down. So I do feel like it'd be a coin toss. I'm leaning towards Sasori here. Don't downplay my boy Sasori.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that this version of Kakashi would actually beat Deidara.
Contrary to what people think, this is where we can actually get into Kakashi scaling. A lot of people think that Kakashi did like better than Jiraiya against the
Not
Pain
true.
Once again, Pain was holding back. He was kind of just asking Kakashi the whole time. He's like, Kakashi's like charging at him with the Raikyu. He's like, dude, I just want to know what the Nine Tails is, bro. Just like let me know where Naruto is. Like, I don't really care about anybody else here. I just want the QB. And Kakashi's like, no, I'll never like tell you. And then finally, when Kakashi actually starts like put in kind of work, he's like pulling out the big brain strategies. That's when Pain's like, oh, okay, you're done here. So I do believe that Kakashi would really struggle against this form of Deidara, even in the Pain arc. Maybe he would be able to land a Kamui with his enhanced reaction speed now. Like, we've seen Kamui work on Deidara in the past, you know, it ripped off an arm of his. And back then in early Shippuden, Kakashi was still able to react to this form of Deidara, even though his Kamui wasn't that precise. So I do see Kakashi being able to pull off a win a couple times, maybe one or two, maybe 3 times out of 10 if you really want to be shareable to Kakashi. But I just don't think that this form of Kakashi would scale to Heavy Sasuke yet.
Yeah, so we have like a case where like Loco and I sort of disagree a little bit, but that's just because of like how weird Pain Arc Kakashi is. Again, like Kakashi hasn't seen Data fight that much, so I feel it's fair to just bump him up again into 5 Kage Summit. Kakashi, who is crazy. Like, this dude fights Sasuke. Now, admittedly, he fights a tired Sasuke. Sasuke's gone and pretty much like soloed the entire world by himself. I don't really care what you say about this version of Kakashi. This version of Kakashi starts to get a little bit silly. Being able to react to the Susanoo arrow, which was already blitzing people who Sasuke was already speed blitzing, is, I'm going to be honest, more impressive than anything that these members of the Akatsuki have done thus far. Being able to fight this version of Sasuke is absolutely absurd.
Honestly, 5 Kage Summit Kakashi just kind of he stomps these 3 people. You know?
Yeah.
There is a really short amount of time between the 5 Kage Summit and the Pain arc, but the difference is notable.
Yep.
Especially like within a couple, like maybe like a week of the 5 Kage Summit, he's able to pull out some crazy shit in the early war arc. It's basically like the same Kakashi, right?
Yeah, and I just want to get into what I think this version of Kakashi, like why this version of Kakashi would start stomping these characters. Basically, throughout the whole series, Kakashi is so severely depressed that he can't really use his body properly, and the Sharingan is actually still crippling him. He finally gets like closure with his dead dad from the past, and then all of a sudden he's fighting Sasuke. And you need to really look at that and you're like, what? You need to be like, what? How is that possible? In Naruto, you can get mental nerfed and amped pretty much. Like, some people think that's not a thing, but being able to have closure with a long dead relative of yours finally gives Kakashi like the strength to keep going. We see this all the time, like even with Kakashi's stuff with like Rin and Obito and stuff, he just gets insanely more powerful the more he gets over his past. It's just like Kakashi's whole narrative. So yes, it does make sense for him to be just so much more absurdly, stupidly stronger in the 5 Kage Summit arc. And I'm going to be totally honest, this version of Kakashi, just through speed alone, would probably kill all of these people. And now we can sort of move to like the weird versions like Konan, which I don't know what you feel about Konan, but she's sort of inconsistent and hard to scale in all of these videos.
Konan is very, very weird to scale because like she kind of got beat up by base Jiraiya, but she's able to kind of also react to Obito.
Yeah.
And Obito is like easily reacting to fucking the Raikage's fastest ability, or like his like the Raikage straight rushes at Obito, he just phases through it. Obito just saves Sasuke. These are some really crazy shit that Obito's doing, and Konan's kind of keeping up with him.
Yeah, it should be stated though that like when Konan, like when she is trying, she is actually very impressive. We've just never seen her try. And when she is trying, she has prep time.
Oh yeah.
Konan with prep time kills Kakashi very easily, I might add. Like,
yeah, at this point, like
it's a joke.
Like Kakashi, he shouldn't necessarily be able to pull off Izanagi like
Yeah.
Obito did.
Yeah.
He's not a master at the Sharingan like Obito is. He shouldn't know about Izanagi yet.
No.
So like, I just don't see Kakashi beating a Konan with prep time. But
Yeah.
like, if you wanna, I don't know, like a normal Konan, like if you take like if you're like in between like base Jiraiya and Orange Mask Obito, like
It's
how
a
is he
range.
even
It's a
scale
range.
someone, like, yeah, if it's base Jiraiya, then yeah, sure, Kakashi wins. Like if that's the scaling you're going off of.
Yeah.
But the Orange Mask Obito shit, like I don't know, dude. Like Konan just, Jesus, I don't know.
So I would say,
This
just for the
is hard.
sake of my sanity, that Kakashi probably beats this version of Konan just because like how inconsistent she is, and I'm gonna be totally honest, like the most we know about Konan is that that Pain was like, do not fight Sage Naruto. So the guy that Konan knows her whole life is saying that you are not as strong as Sage Naruto. And I'm gonna be totally honest, like this version of Kakashi that's fighting this very Chad Sasuke might be Sage Naruto level, because like, don't yell at me, like that's just like how like the shonen like power cliffing it like works, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I think Kakashi's that strong, because that would be ridiculous. It's just like the feats sort of imply that this version of Kakashi is starting to get up there, my dude. Like he's starting to get up to like our Sage level, you know, crazy Kage level people, you know? So prep time Conan, I'd say absolutely washes the floor like dog warts Kakashi, unless you think he uses Izanagi, which is just never implied, never shown. But a normal version, I would say that Kakashi has a similar intelligence to Conan and would actually be able to figure out her ability fairly easily.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because we've never seen like Conan fight like straight on. Like against Uriah, I guess she wasn't really trying that hard because maybe she was like holding back against Uriah. And of course, she's like fucking massively overpowered against Obito because she has crazy amounts of prep time. So it's very hard to scale Conan. I guess y'all can just let us know what you think down in the comments. That's probably easier than us just going back and forth about it. So
Yeah.
I vote that we move on.
Yeah. We should also say that Kakashi beats Zetsu. Zetsu's lame. He either beats Zetsu or he gets washed by Zetsu, depending on a host body. Let's just I don't care for
Diss
Zetsu.
my boy, Zetsu. Zetsu is correct. Zetsu is probably beating like early Shabazz. Kakashi maybe. I don't
It's
know.
good. It's good. We now need to talk about Kisame. Again, Kisame probably just dog walks Kakashi. Unfortunate.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Like unless you think that 5 Kage Summit Kakashi is still like relevant in terms of like if you're talking about if you're talking like 7th gate guy, like unless you think that this form of Kakashi would be relative to the 7th gate guy, I don't see how he would win this.
Yeah, Kakashi just has like the worst sort of matchup against Kisame. We have the character with the worst stamina versus the character with the most stamina. We have the character with like not very good durability feats to the character that had his chest ripped open. We have a character that can literally flood the battlefield, you know, and absorb someone's chakra faster than Killer Bee. So I would say that Pain Arc Kakashi needs to be upscaled to the War Arc. And now I guess we can get into War Arc Kakashi versus Kisame, which I honestly think's very interesting, because now we get to like Prodigy's favorite character, War Arc Kakashi, where he does have insane stamina for some reason. He just got more stamina, and he's more prone to use Kamui, and he's better at it, and he's also keeping up with KCM level characters. So what do you think about Kisame versus War Arc Kakashi? Because I honestly think it's very close.
So yes, this is when Kakashi starts going crazy. Like if we're talking about like later on in the War Arc, I'm just gonna bring this up. Him and Minato in KCM2 Minato are like fucking attacking at similar speeds, and there's no reason why KCM2 Minato should be like necessarily holding back or going any slower unless you think he's mental nerve because of the Obito shit, because at this point they are like rushing Obito. That's still KCM2 Minato, right? I don't know, man. Kakashi also has some other pretty good feats. Like I'd still say he's more relative to 6th gate guy at this point. I think that he could give Kisame a run for his money, but if Kisame manages to go into his fused form, I don't think Kakashi has a chance.
I have always thought that fused form of Kisame is a win con just about against everyone, because who has an answer for that? Like, maybe like Kakashi using his cracked Mangekyo ability could just kill Kisame. I honestly think that, because you've got to really remember like what Kamui is. It's like one of the fastest thing in the series that can like stop something that can speed blitz you. You know, Pain and Sasuke were going to kill Kakashi. He activates his Mangekyo and he's like completely unharmed. So if Kisame's like charging at a Kakashi like underwater and he's going straight for the kill, Kakashi might be able to kill him with Kamui, which again is his only win con with his like Minato level speed. But again, that's like sort of Kakashi's only win con. Again, like you got to think about what Kisame is. If he gets like a Raikiri to the heart, he's just going to absorb that chakra and regenerate. You know, Kisame is really like a really tough opponent. And I'm gonna be honest, the only reason he lost to like Seventh Gate Guy was just like sort of like a trick. Like he honestly thought he could absorb his jutsu and ended up getting bodied by it. Obviously, like Kisame isn't KCM 1 Naruto level, but he can actually work up to that level if he absorbs enough chakra. Do you think the Kamui would like just like get absorbed by like, Samehada or would Samehama?
I don't think it would be absorbed, but like fucking Fuse Kisame, especially when he's in the water, like if he pulls out the fucking water, see what Kakashi could do to that. But especially when he's in the water, he's incredibly fast. But I do think that Kisame would beat Kakashi specifically because of the fuse form in the water bowl.
This is also where Kakashi starts to get a little bit more interesting with like Itachi and those sort of characters. I do think that there is a strong chance that if Kakashi and Itachi were to fight each other, Kakashi kind of has the edge because Itachi doesn't have the stamina necessarily to keep up with Kakashi, funny enough. However, we cannot discredit the fact that Itachi does have all of his crazy, stupid win cons. And I don't know if like, is Kakashi going to be able to like Kamui away like the Susanoo? So if Kamui absorbs everything, which, you know, it might, it could actually still absorb Itachi's weird weapons. But in saying that, would Itachi just be able to summon them again? Like it's very weird and it's very complicated. But I do think Wara Kakashi might edge out Itachi at least.
Yes, I think Wara Kakashi would be able to beat Itachi. Me and Prodigy did make a video about this a while back. This is a long time ago. Just in case y'all are wondering, I don't know about like fucking Fuse Kisame being stronger than Itachi. I think Kisame is just a bad match for pretty much anybody he comes across. That's another video entirely.
Certainly.
I just think Kisame is a bad match for Kakashi, but I do think that at least War Kakashi, after pulling out all kinds of crazy shit, he might he has ways to get around Tsukuyomi. He should be able to react to Amaterasu at this point, just like the Raikage was able to. He does have speed scaling to that tier. So, yeah, especially for the Susanoo, maybe he just Kamui's away the entire Susanoo. I don't know, man. He almost Kamui's away the entire Geromazo. So, I don't think Itachi has a chance.
I honestly see this fight going as who uses their insta-kill abilities first, because Itachi does have more insta-kill abilities than Kakashi. Kakashi does have the raw sort of stats, funny enough, to beat Itachi. But you got to remember, like, Itachi was able to blitz like one of the strongest version of like the strongest Sannin. And again, like I keep mentioning it, no one knows Itachi has a Totsuka blade. Unless you do think like somehow like Naruto or someone told Kakashi during the war arc that Itachi has like this weird spirit weapon. I don't want to like give a definitive answer, but I would say it's definitely a good fight. It's definitely a good fight.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of people will probably get mad about that, but
look, I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
What do you think about Wara Kakashi versus Pain? Because they do know. I actually, honestly, if this is going to sound crazy, I think Kakashi might have an easier time fighting Pain than Itachi. And that is strictly because of intel.
Oh, yes. The intel that Kakashi should have on Pain at this point, like, he should know literally everything Pain has. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't see how he deals with Chibaku Tensei.
Kamui.
Kamui. Fuck no. I think Pain is just like that, you know. Chibaku Tensei, Chaotic Shinra Tensei might be it for Kakashi, but other than that, I think he has a pretty good chance. Like, he does have, like I said, the speed scaling. I brought that up so many times.
Yeah.
It's a kind of the speed scaling kind of power clips Pain's tier. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But Chibaku Tensei GG. But other than that, I think Kakashi could take it. I think he could take it. Incredibly high diff for both.
And you sort of have to do a lot of heavy lifting for Pain. Pain obviously got robbed by Sage Naruto, but you really need to remember, like, The strongest version of Pain that we've ever seen is like Nagato when he absorbs all of B's chakra. You know what I'm saying? So, and even then, like Kakashi is reacting and fighting alongside a stronger version of Naruto and a stronger version of Sasuke. So it actually might definitely go in the favor of Kakashi just through raw stats and intel alone. And the only win con being like a Chibaku Tensei, unless Kakashi can Kamui away the core. And again, those Minato speed feats just make Kakashi absolutely broken. The best part of this video for me is like these sort of weird arguments where Kakashi might actually just end up being stronger than Pain and Nagato just through like those stupid like shonen power cliffing arguments. But I would say that there are definitely ways for Pain / Nagato to win. But more often than not, I do think Kakashi has a very good chance, especially with intel.
Yeah, it's solely based off the intel. He knows how to deal with the Diva path, the Ashura path, and probably the rest of the paths at this point. He should at least know that they have like a connected vision. So that's probably the biggest secrets that Pain has to offer. So I see a couple like Kakashi taking it a couple times out of 10. But like, once again, Chibaku Tensei GG.
Yeah, and it's just like, is this Kakashi weaker than Sage Naruto? Like, definitely not. But again, like I said, full power Pain might be a different story. Like, full power Pain might be absolutely absurd.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And full power Itachi, I'm going to be honest, like, also probably still beats Kakashi. So, there you have it. It's a really interesting discussion. Like, Kakashi actually, I know we kind of just shit on Kakashi for like 40 minutes, but you need to realize like Kakashi has no means fighting these people. They are like the strongest people in the world. He is strong enough to put up a very good fight against them, but for the most part he needs like his strongest forms to definitively beat like the mid tiers of the Akatsuki, I feel.
Yeah. What about Obito? What do you think about Obito? Kakashi is like one of the only people in the entire series that has a direct counter to Obito's Kamui, and
Yeah.
that's specifically because he has Kamui as well. But I feel like Kakashi would have to pull off some absolutely crazy shit to win, uh, especially if Obito just like decides to take off the mask and just traumatizes Kakashi
Yeah.
with like memories from his past. And he just like he guilt trips the fuck out of Kakashi. He's like, you let Rin die, you
Yep.
stupid fuck. And then and then Kakashi's just like he's standing there crying, and then Obito just blitzes him. Oh my god. I think Obito would win that one.
Yeah, I know that's a huge meme, but like, yeah, Obito's underrated, man. He might not even get hit because you know the Kamui is always on. Yeah, it might just be an exact situation as it was in like the Kamui dimension where Obito isn't trying the whole time and he's sort of just laughing at Kakashi. He's bullying him. He's psychologically damaging him, and then Obito just runs away, and Kakashi's left with like a huge stab wound. So I feel like there you have it. Like Kakashi definitively beats like the mid to lower Akatsuki. And then of course, like it just happens with these videos, like the high tier Akatsuki members, like the Kisame, Itachi, Obito, Pain range. You've got to give Kakashi a lot. You've got to give him a lot. You got to make these characters their weakest versions, and you've got to give Kakashi like all the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, to be honest, like once again, there's the Izanagi GG argument. Like Kakashi's
Exactly.
like, "Oh, I finally beat him! Oh my god, that was the toughest fight of my entire life, and so traumatizing as well." And then Obito just pulls up behind him and, and just,
Just
oh my
stabs him,
god,
yeah.
dude.
Nah. I'll leave it up to you guys. Who do you think wins? Wara Kakashi or, you know, Orange Mask Obito, like the Chad himself, like the guy reacting to the Raikage casually? Because I'm going to be honest, like you really do have to give Kakashi a lot of the benefit of the doubt. But that's not to discredit his character. Like he's one of my favorite characters. I wanted to make this video for a very long time. Loco, thank you so much for being on the channel. And yeah, we hope to get more videos out to you guys, you know, sooner rather than later.
Yes, sir. Be sure to subscribe to my boy Catchdog to get him to pump out more videos. You gotta spam his comments and like harass him and be like, bro, why haven't you been putting out this content? We need more Catchdog content.
Look forward to a video on Loco's channel. We're doing Obito versus Jogo. So we're going to dip our toes into some more JJK stuff. So look forward to that. Guys, thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.